machine. Today we're going over the Ruger RXM. I made a joke last video, 2 videos ago, I don't remember what, that it ran to the store to get some milk and it'll be back shortly. And apparently that wasn't a joke because I waited for 45 days for that gun to ship and it never shipped, so I canceled my order and went to my local Dunham's and got one. Something else you may have noticed is that this gun has an optic on it, and in the shooting intro it did not. That is because the screws that actually came with the optic, this optic is an Emperor-like optic, stripped. I had them on there tight, and before I shot I wanted to get them a little more snug just to be safe because I didn't want another incident. And it was only it was with the Allen key, so I wasn't like really torquing down on it or anything, and the screw itself stripped both of them. So needless to say, that didn't work. But I got different screws, it's back on there, and these ones, you know, we'll see how they hold up. Sorry, my cat just jumped on the table. So again, what we're going over is the Ruger RXM, and this is the 5th and final pistol we're reviewing in this series. It is an FCU gun, and what's unique about this one is that it is like 90% Glock parts compatible. Now, just to explain, an FCU is the serialized part on the gun. It is the trigger control, well, they call it an FCI, Ruger does, which is fire control insert. And essentially that part can be removed, and they have, you know, different grip modules you can put it in. And, you know, with it being a Glock, with Glock compatibility, the options are endless. So going front to back, we have some pretty good slide serration. Feels pretty smooth as well. The slide is nitrided as well as the barrel here. Something that I'm not a fan of on the barrel is it has that witness mark to see if you have a round chambered. And the reason I don't like that is you notice it's directly in front of the optic here, and that just asks for dirt and debris to be blown onto the optic so you can't see. Something else is it has a slot up here to mount a light. However, it is not like your standard Picatinny rail slot. So if you get a light, I'm sorry, did I say sight? I meant light. If you get a light to put on it, be sure it has the special Glock adapter on there so you can actually mount it on there. We have a little area here which has some texture along with the ledge if you want to use it as a gas pedal, as well as we have good checkering all the way up here, as well as on the back and the front. It's the same all around. This grip is made by Magpul, and if you've used any of their AR-15 grips, it's the same type of texture. Magazine release is your standard Glock Gen 3 mag release. And something else that is worth noting is that the slide release is only on the one side. It is not ambidextrous, probably because that's where they have the serial number. And I mean, Glock Gen 3s aren't, but it'd be a cool feature if they added it. And since this gun is really shooting for Glock parts compatibility, the only thing that I'm aware of that is not swappable is the locking block, as well as, I mean, I'm not sure about the trigger. From what I read online, you know, they definitely have replacement parts for it, but I don't know if you can just drop a, you know, normal aftermarket Glock trigger into this. I don't think you can. Someone correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments, but either way, they already have aftermarket trigger replacements for this. That being said, I'm going to show you the trigger here. Little bit of take up here, and then we hit a little bit of creep. It's not as bad as it looks on camera. I'd say it's like at least 7 better than a Glock trigger. Here's the reset. Great. I'd say, you know, when you do it real slow, obviously it feels a little bit clunky, but in all actuality, as you just kind of do it, it just kind of goes. It's not super noticeable. Oh, something else I want to notice is have a flared mag well on this bad boy. It does come with 2 PMags, 15 rounds, which is the standard capacity, and it's got a nice little funnel here that works pretty well. It does have a set of co-witness iron sights here, however, like just barely. You know, I told myself I was not going to take off this optic again because I want to test it. I want to do some durability testing with it, but I'm going to, so one moment. Okay, I'm gonna get you a better sight picture real quick. of what the iron sights look like. It looks like it has a fiber optic center with a tritium, however you pronounce it, rear. And what I wanted to show you here is it has one of those kind of like the Springfield Echelon does, like you can mount multiple different optics on it. How it works is there's these little pins that come out here, and you can move those around in the tiny slots here and then some back here. And you're supposed to be able to mount, I think it's only 3 options. I think you can mount the RMR, the RMSC, and like the Delta Point, I believe it is. It might be the Doctor. It's one of those two. Maybe they're the same. I don't know. They have like the same name for the same, or I'm sorry, different names for the same footprint for some reason. But that is pretty cool. I'm glad that, you know, more companies are picking up on that idea. It really is the future because optic plates suck. I also did want to mention, I'm sorry I'm all over the place today, it's been like a month since I made a video. It comes with a box as well. You can lock it, and it has a little insert in here. It's not, here, I'll just show you. It's got like this little plastic insert. It feels really cheaply made. You could tell more on the bottom here, like almost like a water bottle plastic. And it does have a foam top piece. I wish gun manufacturers would just start sending us like universal cases with their guns, because it sucks having like 5, 6, 7, 10 cases that I can only use with one gun. I'd like to just have a case I can use with any gun, because it's like I don't want to throw it away because it's a nice case, but also like I have universal cases, and a lot of times when I go to the range I bring more than one gun, and I can typically fit more than one gun in a case. So it's just like, I have them, and I don't really want them. Okay, before we get into the review quick, of my thoughts and impressions of the gun, I also did want a little, I did a mini review of sorts here. Since it takes Glock mags, you can find those things all over the place, and they have a million different aftermarket options. So I got a couple. Obviously I didn't need to buy the P mags because they came with it. But I did get a couple of other ones. I got this. This is an ETS mag. I think it stands for Elite Tactical Systems. I got a Strike Industries one that's also translucent. And then I got a, this is a Fab Defense mag. This one holds 16 rounds instead of 15. Standard capacity 16, whatever. And yeah, I have a couple of long ones here, or standard capacity mags that are needlessly big because it looks cool. This is a KCI mag, which I have heard that these are like the OEM manufacturer of the Glock mags. I cannot verify that. These are made in Korea. They have the steel feed lips, and if you do hold them side by side with the Glock mags, the OEM ones, they do look awfully similar. I don't know, I'm not making any claims, just saying it's what I've heard. And also another standard capacity magazine that is needlessly big for some reason, also an ETS. Now something that I just want to touch base on is with the ETS mags. Well, for starters, I've had another one of these, and like the front part of it broke off. I'm not really sure how. I don't remember dropping it or anything. I don't know where it went. I know that I tested it to see if it would work like that, and it did, but that disappeared. Otherwise I would have used it in the video. Also, with this one here, I had an issue where I would load this, and if you've ever like seen inside of a magazine, like if you look at a diagram or something, what it looks like when they're loaded, you'll see the rounds alternate on each side and they're angled kind of funny, you know, just to cram in there. This one would just kind of like sporadically, not all the time, sometimes it wouldn't do the double stack. It would just kind of be a single stack where it's strong on one side and the follower was tilted weird. And you could only fit so many mags in it. And normally what I would do is I would, you know, I'd pound it to see if it'd correct itself. Sometimes it did. But also, I would, you know, if that didn't work, I would just download it back to where it messed up and then reload and it would be fine. But with that to say, I wanted to see if it would still function like that, which I imagined it would, but I gotta test it. And it did. I loaded it where it wouldn't fit anymore, and it only had like 13 in it instead of 15. And it still worked fine. So functionality in that regard was fine. but like, you know, it's definitely a training mag. You could argue all of these are training mags. Jury is out on that. I'm gonna put a lot of these through the ringer and see how they perform. That's just a little side note, little side quest here. I'm not a magazine reviewing channel, but I do like reviewing gun stuff. And if I can find, like, for example, you know, if I can find something like this, which was under $10, and it works just as well as the OEM, and I compare them head to head, I'm gonna get the $10 one, you know. So now that I'm done talking for like 3 minutes about a magazine, let's get on to my thoughts of the gun and, you know, my experience with this one specifically. So again, I have a sample size of 1. It's the only one I've handled. But when I received it, the rifling inside the barrel was rusted. And it was only in the rifling portion, like in the groove. And that had me wondering if they nitrided it before they rifled it, which would make 0 sense. I just don't understand why that was. And even if you look at the end of the barrel here, I'll try to show it. It looks chewed up. It doesn't look normal. I don't know. I can't get on camera well, but it just looks like there's like a dog chewing on the end of it. I don't know how to describe it. So, and then again, it has this witness mark, which I'm not a fan of. And to be honest with you, I'm probably going to replace the barrel on this for this reason alone. I mean, it was plenty accurate, and the rust in the rifling, when you get a new gun, you obviously don't want rust on it, so that was kind of annoying, but no big deal. For the record, I did try and hit it with some CLP with a Q-tip. I let it soak for maybe 20 minutes, and then, you know, I tried to scrub it to see if it was just surface rust, don't come off. A little bit did, but not all of it. So, you know, that to say, it obviously is still surface rust, just a little more stuck on there. But yeah, I would replace the barrel on this for this reason alone, and luckily that is very easy to do because there's a million Glock 19 Gen 3 barrels out there that are excellent. I will probably be replacing it with the Faxon, I've heard it pronounced it different ways, Glock 19 Gen 3 barrel. And then onto the slide. I mean, I guess we'll get into it. I think the slide's good. I like it. I think the slide serrations are actually very functional. And it seems to have a nice coating on it. I'm cautiously optimistic, we'll say. Ruger has quite the reputation with their coatings. I mean, I had a Security 9, and it seems like that was blued, I believe it was. I don't think it was nitride. But it just did not hold up, and it looked ugly. It tarnished where it was like spotty. And I know I'm not the only one that's had that experience with the Ruger products. Their coatings just don't hold up and they don't last. Hopefully this lasts. You know, again, I'll give an update if something changes. There is a wear line on the barrel. That is expected. I mean, all of my guns have that. So I'm not going to knock it too much for it. But yeah, I think it's a good slide. I like that it has that optic footprint option on there. And the sights on it are good. I wouldn't change those. Yeah. Going on down to the frame, I really wish they would have just made this a full pick rail. That was one thing they did not need to copy Glock on, is making it take the proprietary, like, Glock attachments. No one likes that. But with that, since Magpul is the one that makes these, they can easily fix that with future grip modules, and the grip modules are literally like less than $40. They're in the 30s. I don't remember how much. Something I will say about the trigger is I actually think it's pretty good. When I first got it, I was like, I'll look at some aftermarket options, but after breaking it in, it does feel pretty good, and I wouldn't feel the need to do that. If it's a gun I invest in, I might, but it's not something that's low on the list, right? They just came out with a Glock 17. Okay, let me rephrase that. Glock 19X length grip module. It fits the 17 round mags, which I think was, only a matter of time before they did that. And I'm happy they did it. They do have a variety of colors as well, like FDE, OD, green, black. So really, you can have whatever you want. And with a company like Magpul in charge of it, I'm sure they can just, do whatever they want, pump these things out. So that's pretty cool. Grip texture on it is pretty good. I will say I'm not a fan of the flared magwell. It does work really well. However, flared magwells aren't something that they're okay. It's not like, that's not a make or break for me by any stretch of imagination. Something I do have a concern about is with these fins here, that's to make it fit the magazine. And I just worry about dirt filling in there. And as a matter of fact, the magazines do fit in here a little bit loosely, which isn't the worst thing in the world. But when you're shooting the needlessly long standard capacity magazines, when you feel the recoil, the whole magazine jostles, right? And that's kind of annoying. Reliability on the gun was good. We had one malfunction with this magazine here. Now, as I mentioned, the longer ones do jostle. I don't know if that was part of the malfunction or not. It was with aluminum cased ammunition. Just for the record, we shot Federal, Winchester, Blazer Brass, and aluminum cased ammo, and then we tried some defensive ammo as well. We shot SIG V Crown out of it, as well as the Fuyoshi Defense Dynamics. All of that worked well except that one aluminum cased ammo. I did fill this up with brass afterwards just to see if maybe it was just the ammo, which I kind of think it was, and it ran flawlessly, so I don't think it was the magazine. And with the type of malfunction it was, let's see if I can describe it. I don't have like ammo here, but if you notice, normal stovepipe is the round facing vertical. This was facing fully horizontal, and it was like another round was partially chambered, but it was just kind of stuck like that between the barrel and the back of the sight here where the bolt face is. And you know, it was an easy malfunction to fix, but just noteworthy. Something I want to talk about is the grip angle. So this has a 20% grip angle, and they advertise it as a more natural grip angle. Natural would be like 18 degrees. That's like your 1911 and like your Smith & Wesson M&P series, most guns that are American, and with Glock having a 22% steeper grip angle. I have mixed feelings about it. So I shoot a lot of CZs, and they have a 19% grip angle, so it still felt very natural to me. However, I don't know. It seems like you're just kind of introducing a new grip angle to the market, which I don't think we really need. But with that said, some people want to get into Glocks and the grip angle is the deal breaker for them. And, you know, they get this and they like it. It's my opinion, right? And honestly, it's something that could easily be fixed. I don't mind the Glock grip angle, and actually some people like it. So I think it would be wise for Magpul and Ruger to develop a 22-degree grip angle. I'm sure people would buy it. I'd probably buy it at $30. No big deal. Yeah. And as I mentioned before, I would like for them to just make this a standard pick rail. Literally nobody wants this. I mean, maybe someone does, but not me, and not anyone just getting into Glocks. I've shot Glocks. I've never thought they're anything special enough for me to go and buy one. I've shot multiple. They're okay, but I think there's a lot better out there, which is why a lot of people abandon ship with them, because, you know, they took too long to come up with something that was decent, in my opinion. So yeah. Something else, actually, thinking about it, I wish they would change on this, is they kept the Gen 3 mag release. I notice on a lot of Glock clones, they go to the Gen 4 mag release because it just looks better, feels better, it's larger. This looks kind of, I mean, honestly, it just looks kind of stupid. No, it's like a, you know, aesthetic critique, but it does. So is what it is. And something else I want to note, man, is if you can see, this is the mag release, this is my middle finger. Now, I've tried to depress the magazine release to see if this is empty, gun's empty, to like do it to try and pop the mag, and I can't unless I adjust the grip. But if you have larger hands, I can see that as a definite concern. And I think the reason why that is they went for this double undercut, which makes the gun more ergonomic, but in turn brings your finger really close to the mag release. It also has this little finger groove here, which I do think is good. I mean, it works for me. I like it. It's just something to think about, that if you have larger hands and you're thinking about getting this gun, maybe see if you can get your hands on one first and see if that's going to be a problem, because you would hate for it to be you cramming down on the gun, trying to have good recoil control, and like you're dropping the mag. So yeah. So all in all, what I get this gun, I mean, I got it under 400 bucks and I absolutely would get it again. I don't regret this purchase at all, and I think it's one I'm gonna keep. Something else I wanna notice, sorry I'm all over the place, mate, is this slide release feels like it's made out of like recycled bobby pins or something. It's super thin, and honestly, with messing with the spring feels super weak to it as well. It honestly feels like I could break it with my bare hands. It's a very thin metal. I'm not going to do that, but it's just something that I think about failure points on a gun. If something were to come down and smash this, if I were to drop it on a rock, I'm personally not confident it wouldn't break or deform in a way where it'd be inoperable. So now something someone asked me to do way back in my first video is they were looking for a spring replacement for their ARX Delta Gen 3, and they couldn't find one on the Global Ordnance website or the ARX website. And I had read online that Glock Gen 3 recoil springs work. I commented that, and he said, try it, let me know. Forgot to bring the ARX Delta, but I'm going to show you here. Let me keep track. This is the ARX recoil spring. This is the one for the RXM. This is the ARX Delta recoil spring. And it does indeed work. Just gonna slide it in here. Well, can't look, sorry. I don't know why YouTube, it seems like some people say YouTube doesn't like when you assemble guns on YouTube, but I see other creators do it. I don't know what the deal was or is. I'm just not gonna risk it. So here we have the Glock for the RXM recoil spring, and it does go on there. It does work, feels fine. You know, I would imagine it works. Now, for the record, the ARX Delta recoil spring does not work in the Glock Gen 3, and I'll show you why that is here. Had to do a cut because I disassembled it on camera. The ARX Delta recoil spring does not work in the RXM or probably any Glock Gen 3, and I'll show you why here. So this is the ARX Delta M, and this is the Glock Gen 3. As you can see, whatever this end piece is called, the little stopper, it's thicker in diameter, and so it is too thick to like plunge through that hole here. So, you know, one will work. The Glock Gen 3 recoil spring does appear to work, and the ARX Delta, however, it does not appear that, you know, vice versa. But next time I get out to the range, if I remember, I'll try it just for peace of mind. I think it's absolutely savage that Ruger came out with a Glock FCU or Glock compatible FCU before Glock did, because that's what people thought the Glock Gen 6 would be, and it's not even. Whatever, man. Glock's gonna Glock. But with that to say, like, I just like it because it's kind of like an AR-15, man. Like, the opportunities with this thing are like limitless almost. I think I mentioned the one piece I know that is not Glock compatible is the locking Glock Gen 3 compatible. But by my understanding, a good majority of the gun is. So yeah, that's cool, man. And especially with like being able to make these things so cheap, like I imagine you can get different grip angles. I imagine they could make another one with the Gen 4 down mag release, which I hope they do, adding a pick rail. I mean, with a powerhouse like Magpul, like, it seems like they'd just be able to give us whatever we want, making it more modular than it already is. And the fact that they don't even really have to come out with more slides and barrels because they're already out there. It's a good idea, you know. It was an excellent idea, and it seems to be executed pretty well, so I don't have too many complaints. So this is the 5th and final pistol we're reviewing in this FCU pistol series as of now. It's not going to be the last, you know, gun review by any stretch of imagination, but it is the start of another series going over Glock clones, seeing which one's the best. I'd like to go over some budget Glocks and see how they stack up against, you know, like Gucci Glocks. Like Faxon's got one that's like $1,000, you know, so on and so forth. So does what is that? Bull Armory has one that's pretty expensive too. Not as bad as the Faxon, but yeah, I'd just like to see how well each of those do, copying someone else, and you know, seeing if I invest some money into a cheap Glock, how close it can get to those other ones. I'd like to take a look at that, and you know, over the course of that review, I want to keep testing these guys out, putting them through the ringer. You You know, some people have concerns about the feed lip bending with these polymer magazines. And for the record, the Glock OEM magazines have steel feed lips as well as these KCIs. I'm not aware of any other aftermarket Glock mags that have the steel feed lips. What I mean, Magpul has been in the game for a while. And as far as I'm aware, they've had no issues with it, so I'm not going to sweat it too much. But I'd like to see how these other brands do, and I'm going to go ahead and invest in some more Glock compatible magazines as well. Metgar has an all steel one that I look forward to getting, as well as Leapers UTG has their own Glock magazine that seems nicer, and I'd like to try that as well. Now, you can fast forward through this if you want. I just want to talk about the mags again. It's just one of those, I don't know, I like it. In terms of quality, I would actually say this Fab Defense one feels the best out of all of them, even the PMag. And these two are going to be more budget options. This one was slightly over 10, this one was slightly under 10. I would actually say the Strike Industries, you can just tell it's going to be a more durable magazine, and it feels better than the ETS mag as well. So, yep. Now, last gun we're reviewing in the series, but we do have one more video. We're going to put all these FCUs up head to head against one another. I'm going to be talking about the pros and cons. I'm going to put them in rank order of the one I would get the least, which if you've watched my other videos, you can probably guess, and which one I would get the most, putting them into two categories, best as a standalone gun and best as an FCU, or, you know, like in terms of modularity, which is the most. So yeah, I appreciate that. And with that, we're going to get on to our 2 fun facts. I bought a book because, I mean, I can look up fun facts on the internet, but that just seems lame. So I'm just going to flip to a random page here. I say random, I'm flipping through it now. And we'll read an interesting fact out of this book. You know, if it's something like, for example, the ARX Delta M that I have here, you know, this is from Slovenia. It's not a country probably most people know about a lot. Pull a fun fact from the country. Now, if I'm like, I did some where we reviewed, or we went over facts from the country of origin that the gun's from, which is cool, but this is like an American gun, and probably most of you watching this are American. Oh, actually, that's not true. I'm looking at my analytics, and I have some people from Turkey and China, so peace to you guys. Appreciate it. Appreciate the Americans too. Oh, and also South America. I have 16 subscribers. I'm not super popular. I don't know what the deal is, but I'll take it. Yeah, so I'm just gonna find a fact that I like in this book, and we're gonna read it together here. So I'm at the Freaky Animal Fact page, and I thought this one was interesting. 9 banded armadillos have identical quadruplets every time they give birth. I'm going to assume that's true because I just read it, but I have no idea. Now on to the theme with the Ark of the Covenant. So in 1 Samuel it is, the Israelites brought the Ark into battle against the Philistines, and in hopes that it would secure them victory. However, they lost and the Ark was actually stolen. Now, this is because God's not just a tool for people to use when we feel like we need him. But all that to say, the Philistines would bring him to a town, and they would get plagues and lesions, and I think it says like, it doesn't say tumors, it says like lumps, like leprosy essentially. And so, you know, they passed him from town to town, and eventually one of their, you know, god idols like falls over, and it's in there, it says like, to this day people they step over where the idol fell at on the ground, so they're not cursed or whatever. And when it was returned, they gave it back to Israel. They're like, we're done with this. But on the cart that they give it back to, there was like mice or rats, gold statues of them. And some modern scholars think somehow, some way, it was the bubonic plague that was spread to these people that somehow hitchhiked on the Ark. I don't know. Just a neat idea if you're into that. Thank you for watching. The next video we're going to be going over is the CZ P10, I believe. I have no guns in reserve for the next series that I just announced, so it's a little ambitious of me. but we'll see where it goes. In the meantime, I've got more guns to review, and that's just the next one that's, you know, running up. So thank you for watching. Appreciate it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a good day.